There was a time when every line of code carried the fingerprint of its creator. A time when logic and poetry met in the command line. Now something has shifted. Machines suggest, machines write, machines think. And somewhere in the quiet space between our intention and their prediction, a question lingers. Are we still the authors of the digital world or just its curators? Today, I would like to go through the topics: how AI is changing the coding landscape, the cognitive shift from understanding to prompting, the loss and chain of human creativity in automated environments, collaborations between human intuitions and machine logic, the educational dilemma, learning by doing with learning by generating, what we mean when we say intelligence and who we think still holds it, the philosophical implications of machine-assisted thought, and finally, whether coding is becoming a lost art or an evolved language. My name is Artem, and on this channel, we explore the deep undercurrents of our time, where science meets philosophy and where the human consciousness meets its technological reflection. If this message resonates with you, feel free to subscribe, share, or simply sit with the questions that follow. So, the autocomplete of thought. From creators to prompters. So, probably if you code, then you at least heard about tools like GitHub Copilot or ChatGPT, of course, are not just helping us code. They're quietly transforming how we think about thinking. Where once we constructed solutions line by line, we now nudge models into generating them for us. We used to write the map, now we merely select the road from a list of machine-suggested options. When the machine knows the answer before we ask, what happens to the mind that was once trained to ask better questions? So, I used to code from the childhood, and what was the most amazing is when I at first has found a code that was written by my older brother, and finally at first I was very curious, what is this and how can I use it, because it was not a typical text. It was some kind of program of algorithm, and at first I was very curious. Wow, what can I do with this code? And finally, when I have tried it, it was amazing, as I realized that I can write some code and it will make something. Yeah. On that moment, it was also very curious because my older brother was writing a game, and then I was so amazed when I could change this code and make it better. But now, as we don't even have to code, and we just can think about what we want to code. And yes, it seems like it's shifting as machines at first they had only assembler languages, very, very machine oriented, and then finally we had languages that were more more oriented to human. And this is how we're moving from machine towards human. But now again, we have this loop when machines even more starting help us to write better code for machines. So yes, in that case, we are even more interconnected in the process of creating the code. So the real question is not whether machine think, but whether men do. B.F. Skinner, behavioral psychologist. So perhaps the greatest risk isn't artificial intelligence outpacing us, but artificial convenience numbing us. So what I want to conclude in this section that coding is changing definitely. So what is the best from my point of view is that I don't need to do a lot of routine work, like thinking about some stupid mistakes where that's where before, and then you can just waste a lot of time because you just has typed the wrong some symbol. Of course, we have a really great encoded editors, and it's became even easier. But with the combination of Copilot and AI, it's getting even faster. So I remember when my friend helped me to use a better IDE, and it was a real boost in productivity. But now with AI, this boost increase in even more dramatically. So yeah, I should say that I don't see how AI will completely substitute us in the nearest future, maybe somewhere later. But again, still, we are those who create the task for AI to write something or to improve something or to update something. So it's again just a tool, as we were talking previously in all the episodes. It's this combination is so the calculator, the computer, now AI is advancing methods of helping us to become even more productive. So the decline of debugging, and this is my favorite part. I hate debugging, and I waste a lot of time for it. I wasted a lot of time for it, and now, of course, you still need to debugging, but as well, what the process? I will come back to it shortly. So these these two sides, understanding with efficiency. Yes, of course, we want to create a code that we can read properly, but in the same way, we want this code to be efficient and just doing what we need. So AI can spot errors faster, and that's what I really like. Then we can read them. So, and that's awesome. I really like it. But debugging wasn't just about fixing code, it was about learning logic, tracing thought, and growing skill. Yes, it's still like 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 it was before, so you can do the same. It doesn't mean that I will completely will solve all the issues. We still need at least to understand what's going on, and still we can learn. We can even ask AI, okay, explain me what was the bug and how have you fixed it, and what was the reason. So again, and still we just can do it faster. Yeah, we may be moving faster, but are we moving deeper? And this is also a really good question. As previously, yes, you had to go all through the steps to find this place where this error happened, and now you just can do it faster. That's why probably Stack Overflow is losing a lot of traffic right now, because now you can do it with AI, and it just make it faster. Yeah. Am I sad that I do not need to learn deeper? You know, when I'm using some third-party code, sometimes it's not even interesting to understand the errors of somebody else. And when the documentation is not perfect, or the code is just not very good, sometimes I even could find some errors that I cannot fix because it's encapsulated in the library. So I don't think it's very bad. Sometimes it's a really, really good situation that AI just help you go through it faster, or you just can remove the code completely if it's bad from some third-party libraries. So if we no longer struggle through complexity, will we still develop the patience to understand it? A really good question. And I think that, again, you can still do both. It's, yeah, I should say that when I was a child, of course, I wasn't very patient, but you can train it, and it not depends on what kind of tools do you use. It just the inner work that you just do to become a better person. So tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin, statesman and inventor. So learning isn't just the upload of facts, it is the transformation of the learner, and machines can do that for us. So yes, again, this is also about responsibility. You decide how deep do you want to go, and how fast you need to go. And what I should say is that previously you just didn't had this opportunity to go faster if you wanted. Now you have it, but also you can slow down. It depends on your will. Creativity compressed. The role of imagination in code. Programming is often reduced to logic, but at its heart, it's creative. In architecture of invisible ideas, when AI offers solution instantly, the space for imagination may begin to shrink. The process of crafting code is a form of dialogue between what is and what could be. So when the solution is always suggested, do we still ask what else is possible? And this is a really good question, I should say. But again, let's start think about problem and solution. In fact, personally for me, when I really want to solve a problem, I don't care what kind of solution. Of course, if it's not break the boundaries of ethics. So I remember one story from my school, and there was some task to solve some problem. If I remember it correctly, it was some figure, and you had to paint this figure into some color. It was an informatics lesson, and nobody could solve this task. It was a quite complex because the figure was very. It was not a simple form. It was a very complex form, and nobody can solve this. But I found one trick that I could use to make this task complete. And I just start using it, and then everybody starts exploiting the same solution. They just taken my code, and finally our teacher just decided that nobody has accomplished this task. So the problem was that I found a different solution to this problem that wasn't expected by the teacher, and then we had some arguments, and I convinced that, okay, the task is complete, maybe it's a different solution, but it's complete. So here also with AI, probably sometimes you care about the solution, but sometimes you just not very care about the solution. You are more not obsessed, but just more focused on the result. And in this situation, does it matter so much? But of course, there are some moments when you really need to understand the steps so you can at least recreate it. And in this situation, of course, to lose this opportunity to know the solution is critical. Art is the elimination of the necessary. Pablo Picasso, artist. And sometimes maybe, let's just again take the situation when you have a lot of different solutions that already exist. And it seems like AI is that box where all this solution can be present. And you just say, okay, I have this problem, and it will just give you a better solution. In this situation, what do you think? Okay, so I don't want to bring a lot of ethics right now to this question. I just want to conclude creativity is not about speed, it's about sensitivity. And the eye for now doesn't feel. Yes, it doesn't feel. It just give you some solution as a calculator, just giving you the final number, and you probably don't care how many operations were made when you just want the result. And when you really want to recreate all the paths, then you can do it. Okay, the next one. Symbiosis or surrender. We are moving closer to ethical questions. So human AI collaboration. Not all is lost. In many ways, AI enhances what we do. It augments, accelerates, and offers new possibilities we hadn't seen, but only if we remain aware. Use it wisely, AI can become a co-creator, not a replacement. And this is again about the prosperity. It could be a way to prosperity in cooperation, co-creation. But of course, if it will be a replacement, that's where a lot of fear growing in anxiety. And of course, it's again an ethical question and the question of our consciousness. And who creates AI? Humans. So we should be, of course, aware. Should be. Are we shaping the machine, or is the machine reshaping us? This is exactly the question. If we will be too submissive to AI, then it will reshape us in some moment completely. So, yeah, I have some funny mood today. We shape our tools, and thereafter our tools shape us. Marshall McLuhan, media philosopher. So we create tools, and then of course, when we use the tools, it also reshape us. It's like, remember when the mouse has became popular? So some scientists predict that we will have one finger bigger than others because we are just using it, and maybe other fingers will be gone completely in some moment. So probably because we were using hands a lot, we have a pretty big hands and very skillful hands, because hands became a very important tool for using other tools, and This is how we evolve, and probably AI is also part of our evolution. Who knows? What do you think? Just write in the comments below. Symbiosis is not surrender. It is a conscious art of walking with, not beneath. So, again, we can work together and co-create, or we can just do what it says. And yeah, of course, it's questionable. Yeah. The next one, the vanishing apprenticeship. Learning in an age of automation. New generations may skip the slow, messy process of mastering syntax in or algorithm, but when you skip the struggle, you skip the transformation. What do you think? Skill is born from challenge, wisdom from experience. Will we still value those paths? So without a struggle, we will not notice the hardness of the problem, and it means that in some moment I will create an environment when the tasks became easier, but if we will see it from a different perspective, probably we will find tasks of completely different level that even AI will be not enough. Who knows? Can you become a master of your craft without ever touching its raw edges? I don't know. I think that's, again, in the era when people will do something not because they have to, but because they want to. I think that perfection will be like a hobby, and because of it, people will still use AI to become as perfect as possible in this specific craftship. Who knows? What do you think? Is a greater threat to progress than hardship? Denzel Washington, actor and speaker. You know, in this moment, I also remember the words of John Kennedy, the President of United States, and it is a moment when they decided to go to the moon. And he said, we are doing it not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And as well here, even with the eye, we still will be trying to accomplish some very hard task with completely new horizons. I'm sure that curiosity of human beings is infinite, because the universe is infinite. In our inner world, I also believe infinite. There is no shortcut to depths, and the eye is all shortcuts. Yes, when you learn math, you can use calculator. But if you want to really learn math, you probably will not use calculator. And this is my reflection to this question. What do you think? Write in the comments below, please. And if it resonates with your thoughts, feel free to like and share and subscribe to the channel. From code to consciousness. What intelligence really means. Coding used to be a mirror of human logic. Now, AI-generated code may reflect a new kind of pattern recognition, one that doesn't understand but predicts. And I think this is a really good characteristic for AI and his ability, because human also have this ability, and we also name it intuition. We call it intuition. And I think that in some way AI also has this ability to predict, and this is what makes us similar in some way. And we must ask not just what AI can do, but what it knows, and whether knowledge without consciousness is wisdom or noise. And this is what I don't like about AI, because nowadays, of course, it's getting better and better in time, but especially on the very beginning, when it was trained on a very bad data, it was terrible. And all these hallucinations, they also were terrible. And sometimes it just give you some crap. If a machine writes a perfect solution but understands nothing, is it truly intelligent? And this is another point, very, very interesting. So, giving the most probable answer sometimes is not intelligence, it's just fast comparison. But sometimes it's enough. Sometimes it's absolutely not enough. So to find the right answer means that there was to find the right answer to the question. It means that you probably had this question and already found some answers, and this is where I could probably be very efficient. But when you don't have answers for the question, or you don't even know what kind of question do you need to ask, probably in that case, even AI will not help you. That's what I think. What do you think? Can we find a synthetic answer for synthetic question? I have a lot of doubts here. The saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. Isaac Asimov, science fiction author and biochemist. So, but I think that when he said it, the speed of life was even slower. Nowadays, when I start building my company, Liberava, I already realized that we have so many information that in this new world we will not have even possibility to discover, to read, to learn, to reflect on all that huge amount of information that we are just producing every second, every moment. So in this world, we cannot anymore even understand how much information we have. Yeah, we can find some data, and but it's just huge. It's just huge. And probably AI is also a very nice tool that will at least try to absorb and to give us the most important pieces from all this information. And this is what actually I'm doing as well in my company, in the Brava. So it just helps you to crystallize this essence of knowledge that you really need, and where you focused in. Not everything. It's probably don't need everything. If you are focused on some specific topic and problem, do you really need all the information, or you just need the relevant information? And it's not about faster answers. It's about better questions. Couldn't agree more. So what do you think? Write in the comments below. And the last question, the new architect, redefining what it means to code. We may be witnessing a shift in the very identity of the coder, from builder to curator, from engineer to orchestrator. Perhaps the future of programming is not in typing every line, but in designing the intent behind them. What if our role is no longer to write code, but to craft purpose? And it resonates with me. I liked to program, but when I think about why I was coding, and in fact it's very boring, very literally, you're just sitting in one place and thinking and writing and then debugging. It's boring. I don't think that's people should really like it. It's yeah, maybe in some way it could be such meditative process, and in some moment I was really liked it. But in fact, my intention was to create something interesting or funny or just useful. And in this case, I like that I don't have to waste so much time anymore. I better will do some yoga or meditation, or just spend the time with my loved ones. That's more interesting. What do you think? A designer knows he has achieved reflection not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, frightened aviator. The question isn't whether we write the code, but whether we still write the vision behind it. In some moment, I even predicted that probably coders will be like a plumbers in the nearest future, because internet had become utility service. So like electricity, like the water. So now internet, it's like a normal need of every human, and because of it, even coders became just a new kind of plumbers. So what do you think? It doesn't mean I want to discourage somebody to become a coder, or, and yeah, there was a moment I was not like very happy. For me, it was just not very wise to go to some specific area and to try to adopt for the job market just because IT became popular and everybody wanted to become a developer or QA or whatever, tester, and or manager, and because there was a lot of money. And now we have again these massive layouts and big corporations. So now it's definitely not the best time for this area to work, to become a junior or whatever. And I think that this area will become even older in the nearest future. But this is another topic. I have some ideas where people should probably go, where even more perspectives in the nearest future. But let's wrap our topic for today. So, AI is not the villain, nor is it the hero. It is a mirror, one that reflects our values, our blind spots, and our potential. The future of coding is not just about new tools, but about new responsibilities. Not just what we can do with AI, but what we should do and what we become in the process. So, just let's say it one more time, but simpler. AI is a tool, not villain, not the hero. And yeah, that's just, for now, it's just the enhancement of our abilities to create something. And we decide, we give it purpose, we give it intention, and it just helps us to become more efficient. I don't think like more creative, because I have a lot of concerns about the creativity. It's just good simulation or repeating something, but creativity is, for me, is a bit more complex. Creativity is the kind of art, and yeah, when AI will create some kind of new art, I will be surprised. Let me know when something will happen like this. So, if this journey resonates with you, if you see yourself somewhere in this quiet revolution, feel free to share your reflections below. And don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Let's think this through together. Peace.